our bodies try to get our attention through pain and physical discomfort. Your body will often reveal its story and reasons for physical tension if you listen closely, attentively, and without judgment. And this is exactly what we will do in this yoga practice. This practice is centered around back discomfort. Back pain can show up for all sorts of reasons, but only your body and mind know what causes yours. Throughout the practice, we will pay very close attention to how your body reacts to different movements, breathing techniques, and positions. In the end, we will talk to the body to see if there are any other messages it is trying to communicate. For this practice to be effective, we need to take time, focus on our sensations, and listen to the signals with curiosity and compassion. I'm Olga Cable, yoga teacher and yoga therapist. Let's begin. We will begin this practice on your back, so take a moment now to transition down to the ground. Lie down on your back, bend your knees, place your feet on the floor. Rest your arms on the ground by your sides, and make sure that your head feels supported. Take a moment to get settled. Bring your attention to your breath. Take your time to inhale and take your time to exhale. As you continue to breathe comfortably, please bring your attention to the point of contact between your feet and the ground. Hold your attention there for a moment. And then briskly scan your body from your feet, along your legs, toward your hips, noticing your lower back, mid-back, upper back, the point of contact between your head and the floor. After you finish this brief body scan, bring your attention to your back, please. Notice which part of your back feels the most vocal right now, where you have the most sensation. And rest your attention there or on that sensation for the next several breaths. Keep your attention on that sensation and little by little extend your legs down one at a time. And rest in this position now and notice if the sensation has changed at all. And whatever sensation you have in your back, notice if it extends into any other part of the body right now. See if you can notice any lines of tension. Notice if it extends into your upper body or lower body, to the right or to the left side, or maybe toward the front of the body. And place your hands on the bottom part of your rib cage. Make sure that your upper arms feel supported. Take a slow, deep breath in. Make sure that you expand your chest and flare the bottom part of the rib cage out and expand your belly. And with the exhalation, deflate your belly and deflate your rib cage. Take several more breaths like that on the inhale. Flare out the bottom part of your rib cage, expand your belly. And as you exhale, deflate and soften. Continue to breathe deeply like that. And notice whether or not this deep breathing has any impact on that sensation or that area of tension in your back. And once you complete your current breath cycle, go ahead and bend your knees one at a time, placing your feet on the ground. For now, keep your feet about hip distance apart, arms by your sides. With the next exhalation, press your lower back down into the ground and press your feet down into the floor as if you're trying to lift your hips off the ground without actually lifting them. And with the inhalation release, allow your back to return to a neutral curve. Continue to move like that. On the exhale, press your lower back down and push your feet into the floor as if you're trying to lift your pelvis up, but don't actually lift it. And on the inhale, release. Do this movement 2 more times with your breath. And notice if this movement affects the area of tension in your back, and whether that tension extends into any other part of the body. When you finish with your current repetition, place your feet together and your knees together as well. With the next inhalation, slowly move your knees apart, as wide as they go. And with the exhalation, slowly bring them together and squeeze your knees together. With the next inhalation, again, move your knees apart. And as you exhale, slowly bring your legs together. Squeeze your knees together. Do this movement 2 more times. And notice how it feels in your back, if there's any change in sensation. Steady, comfortable breathing. And then next time when you bring your knees together, keep them together, slightly pressing into each other. Keep your knees pressed together, and with the next exhalation, press your feet into the ground, lower back into the floor, and once again pretend as if you're about to lift your pelvis up. And with the next inhalation, release and relax. Continue with this movement with the exhalation, pressing your lower back into the floor, feet into the ground and knees together as you imagine lifting your pelvis up. And with the inhalation, release. Do this movement 2 more times. And notice whether or not it has any impact, increase or decrease in sensation in your back. Whenever you finish with your current repetition, move your feet a bit wider apart and lift your right foot off the floor. Place your hands in front of your right knee. This will be our starting position. With the next exhalation, press your right knee into your hands and hands into your knee, while at the same time pressing your left foot into the ground and lower back into the floor. And with the next inhalation, release. And do it again on the exhale. Press your lower back into the floor, your hands and your right knee into each other, and your left foot down at the same time. And with the next inhalation, release. Do this movement gently 2 more times. Notice if it has any effect on the sensations in your back. And whenever you finish with your current repetition, place your right foot down. Take a breath or two here. Feel your back. And then we'll take it to the other side. Lift your left foot off the ground and place your hands in front of your left knee. With the next exhalation, press your hands and your knee into each other while pressing your lower back down and your right foot down into the ground at the same time. Again, pretending as if you're about to lift your pelvis up. And with the inhalation, release. As you exhale again, press your hands and your knee into each other, right foot down, lower back into the ground. And on the inhale, release. Do this movement 2 more times, watching very closely to see whether or not you can sense any change in sensation in your back on this side. Whenever you finish with your current repetition, hug both knees to the chest for a moment. Take a breath or two here. Keep your right knee by your chest and extend your left leg down. Make sure that your left leg feels nice and long with your toes pointing up at the ceiling. Keep hugging your right knee toward yourself. With the next inhalation, slowly turn your extended leg out to the side so the toes are pointing out. And with the exhalation, roll the leg in so that the toes are pointing in. And continue to roll your leg like that. Keep it nice and straight, and with the inhalation, roll it out, toes pointing out. And as you exhale, roll it in. Do this 2 more times on your own, please. Observe the sensations in your back. See if there's any change. Whenever you finish with your current repetition, bend your left knee and hug your left knee to the chest. Extend your right leg down with your toes pointing up. With the next inhalation, stretch down through your right leg and turn your leg out. And as you exhale, slowly roll it in, as far in as it goes. Continue to move like that, turning your right leg out as you inhale. And then turning it in as you exhale, while watching the sensations in your back. And then return your leg back to the center. Bend your right knee as well so both feet are raised. Form a 90-degree angle at your knees. Keep your knees about hip distance apart and place your hands on the outsides of your knees. Take a deep breath here, and with the next exhalation, hug your belly in and press your knees outwards into your hands while resisting with your hands. On the inhale, release. And as you exhale again, try to press your knees out while resisting that pressure with both hands, so your knees don't move much at all. And release. Do this 2 more times with your breath. And notice if there's any change in sensation in your back with this movement. After you finish with your current repetition, place your feet down. Keep your feet about hip distance apart, but at the same time lean your knees toward each other and keep your knees resting against each other. Extend your arms in front of you and interlace your fingers. Take a deep breath here, and with the next exhalation, slowly turn your upper body to your right, along with your arms and your head. And on the inhale, return back to the center. On the exhale, turn your upper body to your left, along with your head and your arms. And on the inhale, return back to the center. Continue to move like that, keeping your lower body stable. And watch the sensations in your back very closely. Notice if you feel any change in sensation with this turning motion. After you do an even number on both sides, return back to the center. Move your knees slightly apart so that both your feet and your knees are hip distance apart now. Place your hands under your head. And with the next exhalation, slowly curl your upper body up, lifting your head, shortening your abdomen, and lifting your upper back off the ground. And with the inhalation, slowly release and move back down. Continue to move like that on the exhale, shortening your abdomen and lifting your upper body up, supporting your head with your hands. And on the inhale, slowly release, return into the starting position. Do this movement 2 more times on your own, and watch closely to see if there's any change in sensation in your back with this movement. After you finish with your current repetition, go ahead and roll onto your side and come on up onto your hands and knees. Align your wrists underneath your shoulder joints and your knees underneath your hip joints. Take a couple of breaths here. Notice how your back feels in this position, if there's any sensation. Keep your attention on your back, and with the next inhalation, lift your chest forward and up, lift the chin a bit. And as you exhale, round your back, pull your belly button in and tuck your chin in. With the inhalation, lift your chest forward and up again, stretching through the front of the body. And as you exhale, bring your elbows down first, and then move your tailbone down toward your heels and fold down over your thighs as far down as it's comfortable to you right now. Stay there and take a breath in, expanding your back, and exhale here in the pose. On the inhale, come on up onto your hands and knees again, lift your chest forward and up. As you exhale, round your back, pull your belly button in, tuck your chin in. On the inhale, lift your chest. And as you exhale, move down into the child's pose, elbows down first, and then tailbone down toward the heels. Take an extra breath in the child's pose, expanding your back. And exhale here. Move through the entire cycle 1 more time on your own, paying very close attention to the sensations in your back. Notice if there's any line of tension that become more pronounced. Notice if discomfort resonates anywhere else in the body. And then next time when you come on up onto your hands and knees, go ahead and transition down onto your stomach. Place your forearms on the ground and your forehead on the floor. Keep your legs together, squeeze them together while keeping them straight. With the next inhalation, lengthen your spine, pull slightly back with your hands and lift your upper body up along with your head. Notice how it feels in your back. And as you exhale, come down, right cheek to the floor. We'll do it again on the inhale, lengthen and lift your upper body up, squeezing your legs together. Notice how it feels in your back. And as you exhale, come on down, left cheek to the ground. Now move your feet a bit wider apart, about hip distance or so. We'll continue with the same movement. On the inhale, lengthen your spine and curl your upper body up, pulling slightly back with your hands. Notice your back. And as you exhale, come down, right cheek to the ground. Same on the other side, closely monitoring the sensations in your back. Only lift up as high as it's comfortable to you. Next time, move your feet even wider apart, about mat width or so. And do the same movement again, up and down with your breath. Notice if keeping your legs wider produces any change in sensation in your back. Notice if there are any other lines of tension that show up with this movement. Next time when you come down, stay here for a moment. Move your feet so that they're about hip distance apart or so. Keep your forearms on the ground. If the next movement becomes too much, you can always stop at any point. Keep your lower body anchored, and with the next inhalation, slowly lift your upper body up, only as high as it's willing to go. Stay here and exhale, anchoring through your hips. Keep your attention on your back, and then very slowly lift your right leg up. Notice if there's any change in sensation in your back. And then slowly put your leg down. With the next inhalation, lift your left leg up. Upper body stays up. And as you exhale, put your leg down. Keep your attention on your back. With the next inhalation, extend your right arm forward. Notice if there's any change in sensation in your back. And then place your forearm back down. With the next inhalation, extend your left arm forward. Keep an eye on your back. And as you exhale, bring the forearm back down. Inhale here in the pose, long spine. And with the exhalation, slowly lower yourself down to the ground. Place your forehead on the floor if it feels okay. Extend your arms along the body. Rest here. Keep your attention on your back. With every inhalation, create some space in your back. And as you exhale, imagine relaxing it, softening it. And little by little, transition up onto your hands and knees, please. With the next inhalation, lift your chest forward and up. And as you exhale, bring your elbows down first, and then move your tailbone down toward the heels, as far down as it's comfortable. Relax your neck. Do this movement 3 more times on your own, keeping very close attention on your back. Notice how your back feels now as you move up and down. If there's any change in sensation, or maybe different kinds of tension or sensations in other parts of your body. When you finish with your current repetition, little by little transition back onto your back. Bend your knees and lift your feet off the ground. Keep your knees about hip distance apart, 90-degree angle at your knees. Place your hands in front of your knees. Take a deep breath. With the next exhalation, press your lower back down and at the same time press your knees and your hands into each other. Feel that resistance without any actual movement. On the inhale, release, relax. And as you exhale again, press your lower back down and your hands and your knees into each other. Notice if that changes sensations in your back. Do that 2 more times on your own, please. And after you finish with that, place your feet on the ground, please. Keep your right knee bent and extend your left leg straight down. Bring your attention to your left glute, your left butt cheek. With the next exhalation, engage your left butt cheek to the point so that your left hip lifts slightly off the ground, a bit higher. And with the inhalation, release. Continue to do that with every exhalation, engaging the muscles of your left butt cheek. With that, tipping your pelvis slightly to your right. And on the inhale, release. Do this for 2 more breaths. And watch how that impacts the sensations in your back. And then next time when you engage the muscles of your left glute, stay here in the pose. Support your head with your hands, and with the next exhalation, lift your head and your upper body off the ground, curling your body forward. And stay here in the pose. Support your head with your hands. With every exhalation, shorten your abdomen and engage, re-engage your left butt cheek at the same time. Inhale here in the pose. And on the exhale, re-engage them again at the same time, your abdomen and your left butt cheek. Continue to breathe like that and watch very closely to see if it impacts the sensations in your back. Maybe the sensations resonate elsewhere in the body. Pay very close attention. And with the next inhalation, release. And we'll switch sides. Extend your right leg down, bend your left knee, keeping your left foot on the ground. Bring your attention to your right glute, and with the next exhalation, engage your right butt cheek, tipping your pelvis slightly to the left. And on the inhale, release. Continue with this movement. Notice the strength of contraction in your glute, whether or not you're able to engage your muscles. And notice how it impacts the sensations in your back, if at all. Next time, engage your right butt cheek, hold it there. Support your head with your hands, and with the next exhalation, curl your upper body up. And stay here in this position. Make sure that your head feels supported. With every exhalation, re-engage your abdomen and your right butt cheek at the same time. Make sure that your upper body lifts straight up. We don't want to lean to the right or to the left side. We want to stay in the middle. Stay in the pose, continue to re-engage the muscles, and notice if this position has any impact on your back or the lines of tension throughout the back. And with the next inhalation, release, come down. Hug both knees to the chest, place your hands on your knees, and then slowly circle your knees away from each other. Nice big circles in opposite directions. And then place your feet on the floor. Keep your knees bent, your feet about hip distance apart or so. Bring your arms out to the sides. With the next exhalation, slowly lean both knees to your right as you turn your head to your left at the same time. And on the inhale, return back to the center. On the exhale, lean your knees to your left as your head turns to your right. And on the inhale, return back to the center. Continue to move back and forth like that. One side and then the other side. Keep your attention on your back. Notice if there's any change in sensation. After you do an even number on both sides, return back to the center, please. Hug your knees to the chest. Keep them here for a moment. Notice how your back feels. And then place your feet down and little by little make your way into a comfortable resting position of your choice. You can keep your legs straight if it feels okay for your back, or you can keep your knees bent and resting against each other if that feels better. Whatever position allows you to rest comfortably for some time. Get settled. Bring your attention to your breath. Take your time to inhale. Take your time to exhale. As you continue to breathe comfortably and steadily, bring your attention to your back. And notice which part of your back is the most vocal right now. Bring your attention to that area. And hold your attention there. Continue to breathe comfortably. And notice how this area feels to you. Try to sense what this area feels like, or maybe looks like, or maybe sounds like. Does it have a shape, or maybe density or texture? Does it have its own mood or feeling? Or maybe its own personality? Hold your attention there and try to sense as many details about it as possible. Does this part that you're aware of feel connected to any other areas of the body through the lines of tension or in any other way? Does it resonate into the areas above or below it, on the front or the back of the body, or maybe on the opposite side? Does it feel connected to any organs or any other tissues? How do you feel about that part? And how does that part feel about you? Is it aware of your presence? Can you look at the part with non-judgment and curiosity? Can you get curious about the messages that the part is trying to communicate? What does the part want you to know? Ask what the part is afraid of and what they're trying to do. What do they think their role is? And notice if thinking about the part's fears resonates into the physical area of discomfort or anywhere else. the part voice their fears and see if you can stay present with them with compassion and understanding. Does the part need comforting? In what way? Are you able to give the part what it needs? And if you are, how does the part feel about receiving it? Ask the part if it's willing to let go of the tension, discomfort that it is holding within your body. Do any parts of you have objections to it? If the part is willing to let go, ask how the part would like to release that tension. By breathing it out, or releasing it into the water, earth, or fire in some way. Let the part choose the exact process of release and let it happen. And if the part is not ready to let go, ask if the part would like to take that discomfort out of the body and store it somewhere else for now. Let the part choose what that would look like. stay with your sensations for a while and notice if there's anything else that the part wants you to know. Continue to breathe comfortably and notice how you feel. Do you feel any different now from the beginning of the practice? Rest with that awareness for the next several breaths. You can stay here for as long as you like and continue with your internal exploration if you wish. And thank you for joining me today. Namaste.